Here is a summary of the story The Adventure by Jayant Narlikar. As the Jijamata Express rolled into Bombay, Professor Gaitonde decided his plan of action. He would find a library and look for answer in history books. Then, he would find his friend Rajendra Deshpande. At Sarhad, an Anglo-Indian man checked their permits. Gaitonde asked his companion Khan Sahib about his plans to reach Peshawar. The train now stopped at Victoria Terminus. Gaitonde exited the station and then stared at the building opposite. The building proclaimed its destination as the headquarters of the East India Company. Gaitonde now walked through Bombay, which housed English shops and banks which were very different from the Bombay he knew before. He found the library and was astonished to find his own name on some history books. Eagerly, he started reading the historical account of the Battle of Panipat. In his world, the leader of the Marathas, Vishwas Rao, had died from an arrow shot to his head. In this world, the arrow had narrowly missed his head. This crucial difference boosted the morale of the Marathas, who rallied behind their leader and emerged victorious against Abdali's troops. Under the leadership of Bhau Sahib and Vishwas Rao, the Marathas secured their power and then expanded their influence over India. The East India Company was not allowed to expand their territories in India. Their rule was confined to Bombay, Calcutta, and Madras. They allowed the Mughal regime to remain in Delhi, but to all intents and purposes, they maintained the balance of power in India. The Marathas set up their own centers of science and technology, bringing in consultants from the East India Company. India slowly moved towards democracy. Gaitonde was surprised at this account. In this world, his country hadn't suffered from the yoke of British rule, but was a thriving democratic country. Such a small event had made such a huge difference in terms of historical change. Gaitonde left when library hours closed and found a place to stay. In the evening, he strolled towards Azad Maidan. There was a crowd gathered around a pandal, and Gaitonde found that the president's chair was unoccupied. This image somehow stirred him, and he took the chair. The crowd shouted at him angrily to get off, but he started his lecture. The crowd got angrier, and more started to throw tomatoes and eggs at him. The narrator now shifts in the story. We find Gaitonde and his friend Rajendra in conversation with Gaitonde, recounting his experience in the other Bombay. Rajendra refuses to believe him and states that the accident must have triggered such hallucinations. But Gaitonde produces the piece of paper which narrates the survival of Vishwas Rao. He had absent-mindedly gathered the document and put them in his pocket. Amazed, Rajendra discusses the possibility of alternate worlds existing side by side with our world. He concluded that somehow, due to the collision, Gaitonde was able to travel from one world to the other.